All right, so moving on from where we were last time, just a quick recap. We got basically all the finish welding done that we're going to do, sides, all that good stuff. Now we're going to start working on our cap pieces. I like the theme of this, and I still have 3 runs of this. So I'm kind of thinking capping these guys off just like so. That way it all kind of matches up, and we'll angle it out at the end. So it kind of hides everything. It looks really nice. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Oh, jeez. We're going to be putting 8 of these guys on this bed, pretty much finishing up the look. Welcome to Iowa State Garage. So very similar to the floor, we're basically just adding a cap piece over top of these. I think they were 1.5 by 1.5 or 1.25 by 1.25 1/8-inch wall square tube. Just because this doesn't really fit in with the whole setting of everything else. I think we're going to do a 45 off the lip, just like this. Zing, zing. Just do that. And then we'll bring those guys up either level or to the 45. And then just add little cap pieces at the very end. So it kind of, draws the whole thing in. Because we still have our nice little stake pockets, the original ones. These aren't going to be utilized as stake pockets. There's no point. I think what I'm going to do first is just make sure that they're all level at the top. 45 them off. Then we'll start basically cutting those guys to fit. I need 8 of them. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so we got all 8 45'd out. Now it's time to start working on our cap piece. So let's start working on that. Now you see, quite simple this. No real need to make it complex. I think on this one we're gonna have to cut this outer edge because my tailgate's gonna flop right here. I'm pretty sure, unless it flops right there. Not sure. I think it flops right against this. So we might just do a seam right here, or a seam right there, whatever. But then that guy is going to sit right there, and it will get welded to the bottom, welded to there, all that good stuff. You know what? It should actually be okay if we seam weld it right here, and we just do a lap joint. I'm not too worried about it. So when I take this off, I'm just going to 45 that right across, and then, well, actually, this has to be flat here. Yes. Okay. So now when I cut that off, we're going to have a nice little gap piece, and then we can just cap that off at the end. It'll be nice and square. Yeah, that turns out pretty good. Not bad at all, really. So that's going to go on just like so. And then what we're going to do is make a little patch panel for the very top. And then we'll kind of grind it flat, trim it up. There we go. Okay. And the same thing kind of here at the top. Kind of help hold it. We're not going to try to build up the top just yet because, again, that's where we're going to be putting a lot, or we're going to be putting that cap piece, so I don't want to make it too hard on myself yet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get a big C-clamp. It's going to kind of C-clamp on like this. That'll pull that in, and then on this side too, we'll kind of draw it in a little bit. Okay. That's a good hot tack. There we go. Good stuff. It broke my tack at the top. That's okay. I'm not too concerned. We really should have actually started out with this side first. Come to think of it. What I might do is just double up the tack, just a touch, as this panel might be under a little bit of tension as we pull it in just a little bit. That's okay. Ain't never gonna hurt nothing that way. Let me get a little bit of body hammer action here. Give that a couple razzle dazzle. There, perfect. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna double up the tacks real quick. That should be more than plenty to hold that on to that corner right there. So now what we got to do, we got to draw this section in. All right, there we go. I brought you guys over there. I had to keep the distance a little bit with the phone just so I don't damage the pixel in it. Whatever the camera thing is, you know what I mean? But now what I'm talking about here, if you can see that, I got to stick a pry bar in there and just kind of give it a once over square. Just like so. What I'm going to do there, I'm going to do a hot tack. So this guy right here falls into a valley. So what we might do, add a little relief cut right here and then beat that part in. But if I'm going to do that, I got to clean up this and weld that straight right now. That way it will resist the break when it happens. Okay, so that's welded solid now at the bottom. Let me brush that off real quick. There we go. So what I'm going to do is it seems like if I give a relief cut right here, I should be able to bring that whole section in. So that's what we're going to do. Small relief cut. I was okay with cutting into here. I'm just going to weld that solid so that there's no problem. Just add a hot tack there. And then we'll draw that whole section in. I think that'll work out pretty good. So that's all welded up. Let me show you what's going on there. I know you're far away, but it's the best we can do, really, with the phone. So that's kind of what we got going on. I had to do a weld there because we kept cutting. But I got my relief cut, and the reason I got it is because see where my fingers are? I can push them in. But I didn't want to have to twist it because it's already pretty square. Square at the bottom, all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that piece in, draw it in. And it should retain the rest of that and just draw it in on this edge, in theory. Because it's all held there, all that. I might do a quick tack there, or even one or two extra ones right there, but I think with the pry bar down at the bottom, we draw it in that way, and then maybe me pushing with the pry bar at the top, it should go. So, second thought plan. What we're gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to bring that in with the hammer. I don't think there's another way, so. What I'm going to have to do is rig up some type of weird contraption. Draw that sucker in. Oh yeah, she's plumb tight. That's exactly what we want. So, I'm just going to do a hot tack right there. You guys won't be able to see it just yet. But that's okay. I can see it. Don't take that off a bit. It's not very strong. But what can you expect? It's kind of holding the whole thing up. But I can do a nice hot tack there, a number 4 tack on the welder. Help solidify it right there. So hold on. There, perfect. All right, so run this right down it. rid of some of that paint. Now, we should be able to hit that a couple times. Really draw that section in. A load bearing tack, if I've ever seen one. Hopefully that lasts long enough for us to get a couple on there. Already that looks a lot better than just that, and that's just kind of rough tack, just kind of holding it on there. As you can see, we had to draw that bottom corner in, but nothing we couldn't handle. So now what we got to do, we got to do this top cap piece. That's basically just going to cap that guy right off. All I'm going to do is just basically measure this piece out right here, grind that down a little bit, lay them on flat, and zip weld them in. Should be all that. So let me cut up the square, and I'll bring you guys right back when I got. So that's kind of what I got going on here. We got the square right there. I cut that out, just a simple square. That's going to sit right there. We're going to weld that in. And already I'm going to back you up. Take a look at that one compared to that one. Which one looks more finished? I'll give you a second. Yeah, you're right. It looks like that one. I just got to finish weld this one up. The proof's in the pudding, fellas. So let me weld this one up before we even start these ones, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So give me a second. Let me weld it up fully, and we'll be right back. All right, so that's what we got right now compared to, the rest. So let me back up again. Now that one's finished welded. What do you think? Looks a little bit better than just the post, I think. It's nice and thick, kind of matches the floor. Once this is capped off, it will match even better. Let me back up even more to right over here. Once there's a whole bunch of those, it'll really, really bring this bed a little bit more together. And that's basically what we're after. We'll have that back panel and stuff that will go in later on, but really we got to make, well, it's going to be quite a lot more of these. So we got a lot of work to go. There, now that's pretty much roughly how long it took for this one little section right here, minus a little bit of cutting and minus a little bit of full-time welding. But that's just one. I got to recreate that 7 more times, so we got a lot of work cut out for us. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm likely going to do these ones off camera, or maybe I'll do another quick episode, just 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next thing. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to get back to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one really, really soon. All right, see ya.